I'm at Zen Technologies, a Hyderabad-based military training solutions provider, as well as a company that has now got into counter-drone solutions for not just the Indian military, but also militaries across the world. And with me are the Atluri Brothers, Kishore and Ashok. Kishore is the president of the company, and Ashok, of course, is the chairman and managing director. And both of them are co-founders of this company, which has completed 30 years in June 2023. So let me begin by asking, when you founded this company, what was the vision with which this company was formed?
The vision was that we want to, one thing is about self-sufficiency. How do we become self-sufficient was the thing, we used to import forever. And the second point was that, it's the training in those days, the training was only done in the ranges. So how do we replace the range training, because the ranges were disappearing? How do we do the training in virtual environment and the training with increased efficiency? So number one, self-sufficiency. Number two, the vision that the training is a key part of the thing. So these two were our objectives, that we want to be really self-sufficient in the field of military training.
But how did you home on to this particular aspect? Did you do something before this? Had you had any other business before this, or how did you home on to this idea?
Yeah, we were in IT, doing networks and software development and stuff like that. And later there was a problem which we repaired a imported system by the Indian Army, which the company went bust outside, and this was not irreparable. So the task was given, it was a small task, and we overcame that thing. We repaired the whole thing, and then in young days, guns and other things are very exciting and all, and we saw that we can actually give a lot of value in training by enhancing the efficiency, skill, as well as lowering the cost. That was the prime motive. And then, of course, we had a vision that one day we'll become at least a world leader in this particular training solutions.
You started this in way back in 1993, right? And that time the Indian military was a closed entity, if I can call it, MOD, Ministry of Defense. What about the police forces, or how did you get a breakthrough, or even the first order, if you can recount that, either one of you?
So, we actually were frustrated because everybody believed that this is a good product, but we never got the order. So the challenge was that, how do we do it? And every time we were taking the weapon and coming back, it used to cost us, tens of thousands of rupees, 20, 30. And in those days, that was a huge. So, finally, Kishore came up with a brilliant idea that, let us just give it to the National Police Academy, where all the police people keep coming in. Which is in Hyderabad.
Yes.
So we went and installed it there, and they would. So our biggest problem was, the challenge was, they would ask, do you have a reference site where people are using it, where you have sold and using it? Actually, technically, that would they were. But we started telling police guys, yes, we have one installed in National Police Academy. Okay. And fortunately, Delhi police took the cue, and they said, if NPA has bought, why shouldn't we buy it? And they bought, Delhi police.
Okay, so the first order was from Delhi police.
Delhi police.
I see.
Delhi Armed Police.
We
supplied that. It is in the north of Delhi.
Right.
That was the first order.
Okay.
And then when we installed that National Police Academy, the Delhi Armed Commissioner over there at that time, he inquired, how is the system, is it beneficial and all. And National Police Academy gave a very positive report.
Right.
Based on which they placed an order on
Okay.
us. And then we kept on improving the system. And then we had a PATSER fund and all, then where we made our a system which was on par with the foreign systems, which they were planning to buy at that particular time.
Right. So also your two brothers, it's a family concern now, or an entity. It's become a public company over the years, publicly listed on Bombay Stock Exchange. But what are the synergies that you bring in? What are the skills that you have, and which works as a synergy together?
On a very broad level, I take care of the finance and the operations, and Kishore takes care of the marketing and the sales effort.
And the development, who does that?
R&D, Kishore involved.
So I envisage a product
Okay.
what should be given. After
Right.
talking to different people traveling abroad and all, then Mr. Ravi is also there, who is the director R&D.
Right.
So together we come out with the actual plan of
Right.
developing this one and how it will be useful for the forces and all.
Right.
Then we take input from a lot of people, and once we really believe and we got a good rationale behind of it about the market size and the development capability and the skill we have,
Right.
then we go on with developing these products.
So from the firing simulators or for the small arms firing simulator and others, you have graduated to various other simulators. Like we are standing here around the driving simulators.
Yeah, yeah.
Explain what these are.
So these are the driving simulators, which will have a full 6-DOF motion platform and a around I think 120 degrees of screen.
Okay.
And it will train the people in basic skills as well as advanced skills like convoy driving, hill driving, hill terrain driving. All those things the army would-be drivers can practice on this one.
I see.
So these are for that. So they wanted realism in their controls and everything.
Right.
So these are the cabins which we take it from the OEM.
Okay.
And the OEM cabins are fitted on top of.
So these are real cabins which would be on a normal truck also.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Exactly. And all the controls which are there, those controls generally in simulation, what happens? It is not moving.
Right.
In the real vehicle, it's actually moving. So I had to convert all the controls and all to mimic the vehicle dynamics,
Right.
which are mathematically modeled.
Okay.
And then they are given to the motion cues through the motion platform.
Right.
And the visuals and vision cues, you get it through the various projection systems and other things.
Okay, so you also simulate, if I remember seeing it at one of the DEF Expos, simulate different seasons.
Yeah.
So rainy season, snow, hill driving, all
Yeah.
that. So how do you do that?
So we have, nowadays you have engines, okay, and we use one of the engines over there where it gives you a 3D projection of a particular scenario.
Right.
So these are geotypical or geospecific scenarios.
Okay.
And we also build all the buildings, the vegetations and all those things, and then the environmental conditions, what you said. Suppose I would like to create the wind effects
Right.
and how the effects of the wind is on the equipment.
Sure.
That is also felt through the mathematical modeling and all. And the people, they have to take corrective measures on that.
But let me sort of move from there to the marketing aspect of it. Now, of course, Zen is, and tell us, like, what is the market size? I mean, not market size, your company's size, financial position, market capitalization wise.
Market cap, we are about 6,500 crores.
Okay.
So, it keeps fluctuating plus or minus 500
Right.
crores. And in terms of turnover, this year we are expecting between 450 to 500 crores.
Okay.
And next year we will expecting it almost double of this. So, and the profitability is reasonably good because our exports are very, very rewarding, the export market that we have. So, this is the total thing. Yeah.
So, now why I asked you that was that comparing it to other companies worldwide or even in the South Asian region or Indian subcontinent, how are you placed, Zen Technologies?
So in simulation, when you look at the foreign markets, the simulation to regular training is 80 to 20. In our case, it is 5 to 95%.
That is 5% is simulation?
Simulation and 95%. You're not even 5%, I'm exaggerating a bit there.
Right.
So, so the market cap and the turnover of those companies are very, very high.
Right.
Even though, again, in terms of quality, the product that Zen offers is way superior to what the foreigners are offering.
Sure.
But foreign companies are offering. But now when this switch is happening now with the, with the new framework that they have issued, that mandating the use of simulators.
Right.
We think it will slowly go towards 8%, maybe next 3 to 5 years. And we have seen even a chief of army saying it has just started.
Yes.
And even though we got a 1,000 crore order, we know it just started. So tens of thousands of crores of demand is still there. I think when we move, we will become larger than them. They are a couple of $1 billion. Some are as big as $5 billion. So I think we should be overtaking them sometime.
Right. So in India, there is really no similar company in that sense of training solutions. Really.
Yeah, so again, the point is somehow not many companies in India have self-funded their research,
Right.
their R&D. They waited to be funded by DRDO, they waited for funding from some source.
Right.
But putting in your own money when, when the payoff period is many years away, is something, not many companies have dared to do. Fortunately, we had that ability to take risk. Somebody says, had we done something else, probably would have been much bigger company. But the reality is, fortunate. We feel very proud that, we invested in the indigenizing the cutting edge technologies. As you know, now we have more than 160 patents that we have applied, and last year we granted 15 patents. We are all cutting edge technologies. So we are really an IP kind of a company.
So yeah, so that I think the IP thing is clearly, but obviously it's a passion. Otherwise, you don't normally do it, because Indian company are always signaled out by a lot of government officials that they don't put in enough money into R&D, and therefore DRDO has to be there.
Yeah.
Government has to do it. What makes your company different in the sense of the IDDM product that you normally do, and what is the kind of support you get from the military on this?
No, see, very recently, after Mr. Modi's government has come in, there have been a dramatic change.
Okay.
And a push to Atmanirbharta
Right.
and the Make in India and all. Especially, you would know when Mr. Manohar Parrikar
Yes.
was also inclined to this particular concept.
Right.
And he created this Buy Indian IDDM, indigenously designed, developed and manufactured,
Correct.
as a first and default category for buying this.
Procurement.
Procurement and all.
Right.
In spite of that, and if you see the DAP, single vendor is allowed.
Right.
We put in so much of research into this one. We are generally, based on the requirements, we are usually result in single vendor.
Right.
But in spite of that, there is a inherent resistance. How can only one be there?
Right.
But if at all you remember, one of the conversation, even Mr. Manohar Parrikar said, there is only one customer,
Right.
and you want three people.
Yeah.
So he was quite aware of the
Yes,
problems
he
which
himself
were
was
happening.
very
and all.
aware, yeah.
So that is one challenge also we are facing.
you have.
That no, we want to develop, and when we are very good, you are definitely one.
Right.
And then we will have to fight the other things and all. So this is where we are now currently.
But I think now the equation between private companies and military end users has also changed dramatically. If I see it from my perspective, that there's a lot of more interaction, a lot more discussions. They tell you what products they need. I suppose ADB has made a difference.
The sea of change.
Yeah.
So when we had entered, it was very difficult to interact with the army personnel.
Right.
Now they are more open. They tell their problems to the private industry.
Right.
What we need to develop and all. And that too, they are the policy itself encourages the Indian products to be taken and all.
Right.
And another great part was the push on the exports.
Okay.
Previously, whenever we used to go out,
Right.
being a private company, we didn't have much of a support from the embassies and the attaches and all.
Right.
Now that has changed dramatically. Now they want us to promote the exports and all.
I think they have really cracked, they have understood the code. Now the army officers also, they know that, if we buy, number one, they know that, in any field in a country, there cannot be more than one player. When worldwide there are 3 or 4 players, how can India have 3?
Right.
So that thing they are coming over, some very old-minded mind have that, but typically no. And second thing is they know that if we actually have one which is meeting these requirements and we buy from them, they will be able to export.
Sure.
And export is complete foreign revenue for us.
Correct.
So they are in the view that, we not only are we creating a great champion within India, we will make it a global champion. So that support is coming, and as this thought process is going on, the MEA and the military, the government is actually pushing, please do exports. So this is almost kind of a virtual cycle which is spiraling into making India as a real manufacturing and R&D hub for in defense.
Yeah, which is what I think the Prime Minister had said, that make in India for the world is something that you are focused on. So how's the export market?
So, so again, initial years we used to be, we were never really entertained by the embassies and all that for export.
Right.
promotion.
No, but even otherwise, when
Yeah.
you're based, I mean, you're constantly traveling to the Middle East, to Africa.
So there is, first of all, there is acceptance of India as a defense vendor.
Right.
So that's a sea change again. And the second thing is there is a lot of demand, and they are willing to engage with Indian vendors, and we think that the two areas, again, when we look at the macro situation, either in Armenia or in Ukraine, Russia, or in Middle East, we see all these conflicts are, moving around two factors.
Right.
One is the drone counter-drone situation, and the second is the lack of preparedness.
Okay.
I may say I have Iron Dome, I have this,
Yes.
but for 6 hours, people come in hand gliders and take over the country
Sure.
or part of the country.
Right.
So we know that this is lack of preparedness.
Right.
And and the counter drone systems, these two, we are in the sweet spot that both these are being demanded by the customer,
Absolutely.
especially foreign.
Yeah, foreign customers. But I see it something interesting. What is this? Because I can see the driving simulators, but what is this actually? If you can go around.
So this is under this one. I would suggest that we'll actually show you
The thing, yeah, but this is
the main one. I just wanted to basically,
briefly.
just to give a thing.
This is a containerized range.
Okay.
In India, there's a severe shortage of ranges.
Okay.
So what we have done is the smart thing.
Right.
So we have created a 40-foot container. Now suppose somebody wants to fire a 100-meter target. So we have got a target which is projected onto a particular screen.
At the end of the
of the tunnel.
Okay.
Okay, and once they are projected, they are sized in such a way that whenever you see from the open sides,
Right.
you feel that this target is at 100 meters.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have sensors all around.
Right.
So as you fire on that one, there is a firing point equipment besides the firer
Right.
who can actually see where exactly he has hit.
Sure.
Whereas in the conventional one, people go and fire like 5 bullets, and then they go run 100 meters or 200
Yeah,
meters.
they have to go and see it there. Yeah.
Then they measure it, then they note it down, then
Correct.
they come back.
Right.
So there is no immediate feedback
Right.
to correct. Here every bullet I can correct, I know where it has exactly hit and all.
That's right.
And that too because everything is but through the sensors and all, when we calculated, it is in 1/5 of the time. A company of size of 100, 120
Right.
can complete their complete annual range course
Sure.
within 1 day, which usually takes 5 days.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the kind of saving you have in
Yes,
this.
and also a lot of analysis goes on in
Exactly.
this.
All the analysis, what mistakes he's committing, all those things are also captured. And this can be put in anything. Like if you see the airport in Delhi, those people would have traveled 140 kilometers every day.
Right.
So that they are doing in their basement now. So like that, a lot of people are showing great interest in this.
So
one.
you have supplied a lot of them.
Yeah,
to-
we have supplied many of these systems, not only here 511GR, and many of the people, everybody is practicing on this only,
Okay.
which is recorded,
Yeah.
and they know the analysis and how much training to be given and all.
Right.
So huge saving, and inside your own units you can have these things and all.
Yeah.
And a similar thing we also have where we have combined a complete simulator with this one, so you can have tactical situations.
Okay.
So infantry school army has already tried and tested out,
Okay.
and they wanted to buy, but there was some other problem which got stalled. Now,
But this is transportable.
this is transportable.
Okay.
It is comfortably transportable. That we have got patents for the BCT collecting the bullets and all at the end.
Even for the whole system, we have.
Okay.
The whole system.
Right. So this actually changes the whole dynamic of training in a way for the army. And now that the old style firing ranges are becoming tougher and tougher to operate, and state governments are pushing back.
Yeah. So another point is this: sir, हमारे पास range जाने का time कहाँ है?
Exactly.
So now we are getting the range to them.
Exactly. So you're actually taking the system itself to their own
Yeah,
location,
own location.
like that. So you have a driving simulator or several driving simulators, but these are only driving for vehicles.
Yeah.
You also have something similar for others.
Yeah, we have covered the A vehicles, the tanks,
Right.
the BMPs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we got both the crew gunnery as well as the driving training.
Right.
So, if at all you can classify, we have got 3 parts to this one. We have got the virtual simulators,
Right.
where I completely create an environment of the equipment.
Right.
Really, that means you require the haptics and other things, and all the feel of that one
Yeah,
should be
okay.
exactly the same.
Right.
Then I have the visuals where I create the environment where people feel that as if they are actually in a battle kind of a conditions and all.
Okay.
And the technical training, like know how well they, whenever a target comes, and how do they communicate among themselves.
Right.
So now what we have done is we have connected all the virtual simulators in a network.
Okay.
So you can have a tactical battle of say a combat team.
Okay.
Okay, and they have everybody, they can be at the same place in a network or they can be dispersed geographically. So they will see that terrain as if everybody is in the same terrain.
Right.
And we have got AI characters where they will fire back at them.
Okay.
You can fire back, then the complete analysis is done based on the kind of plan they had, mission plan. So mission plan to execution to after action review, everything can be done in the virtual simulators.
Okay.
Now we also after that, we have something called a live simulation. In the live simulation, you use your original equipment,
Right.
you use your blank rounds wherever
Right.
possible, and then you go and conduct a battle, force-on-force training
Right.
in the real terrain.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so suppose you got some field firing ranges,
Right.
over there you got lot of training equipment. So there can be a squadron of tank along with a combat team
Sure.
trying to do a battle scenario with the original equipment in the same terrain.
Right.
So now when they fire, okay, a laser pulse goes, is sensed over there, and it is all fitted with GPS and radio transmission of their communications, everything. In an exercise control center, they can actually see the progress of complete battle, and they can do the analysis of that one. There also is the same concept. You prepare for a battle, you do the mission plan, then go and execute it and do the after action review and continue that cycle.
Okay. So it gets feedback loop is complete.
Complete, always.
Okay. So, so that tells me that obviously export market is a huge opportunity. You've been traveling to Africa and other places and even maybe the US. What is the response? I mean, are there similar equipment which is based on simulators? Are they using it like this? Is there a demand in these countries?
So, I think there's a huge demand in Africa, Middle East and other countries. And what we discovered recently was that Kishore had gone to US and there was a live demonstration. And they
Live demonstration from here?
From US, we were doing a live beaming up from the
From
demo
here?
center.
Okay.
So it was between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. we were doing the demo, live demo
From
here.
it was
From
night here.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
night here.
So
Okay.
two things they were shocked about. One thing was that they have a list of products for the next 5 years. One of them was of the many, one of them was a containerized tank simulator.
I see.
They want to fund that and do it.
Right.
And then we were actually, Kishore was surprised. He said, listen, we have it for the past 15 years. The Indian Army is using it.
I see.
And then they saw and they were flabbergasted.
Yeah.
They said, listen, you should come and try to push a deal with us here.
Right.
So we are looking forward to the US market.
Okay.
And the second thing is, they were shocked the commitment. How is your team awake in the night? So, and that's like a walk in the park for us, I mean. So, I think this is an exciting time for Zen as an international company to going into European and American markets.
Right.
Of course, again, in terms of quality, we are superior. In the worst case, we are equal to them.
Right.
And but in markets like Africa, they are not served at all. So that's a very Africa, Middle East, CIS are the countries that we see very high exploding growth rate happening.
Right,
So, yeah.
absolutely. We'll take a break at this point. I think we are. What else are you going to show us after this? Because you've talked about the containerized simulator being there or the firing range being there. You also have the other two, I suppose, things that we have. The other simulators, the firing simulators also there.
Yeah.
You can show us all that, right?
Yeah, so we will do a demonstration of the products that we have, the range of products that we have, some of the products.
Right.
Because the whole range is very huge.
Okay.
So we'll show you some of the products, and you will get a feel about what our solutions are about.
Exactly.
And some of the products that are still under production here. Yeah.
I need to take a break here, but don't go anywhere. I am in conversation with the Atluri Brothers, who own and run Zen Technologies, one of the futuristic and a currently technologically far superior training provider to not just the Indian military but militaries across the world. So don't go anywhere. Kishore Atluri is going to show me how to training simulator works, and that's where we are going to go up there.
So this is one of the ALS driving simulator over here.
Right.
So we have got a 6-DOF motion platform.
Okay.
So when you're driving a vehicle, if you're going on a road,
Yeah.
okay, so road might be curvy, bumpy, it can be in a place in a rural area.
Right.
So the vehicle behaves in a different way. The motion cues what you get,
Okay.
they are different. So I'm trying to simulate the motion of the vehicle perceives
Right.
based on the scenario what he is going.
Okay.
So that a person gets, suppose he is going on a bump, he
Right.
knows that how much of bump he will get when he does and what kind of a speed he should go at.
Right.
So this is over here.
I see.
Then we got an instructor console. Here in this one, you get whatever controls is there. It's a replica of the controls over there.
So this is the scenario is being shown here.
This is a scenario.
Okay.
He is going in a rural area and all.
Right.
It is a realistic scenario with the trees, vegetations, and here this is the rear view mirror
Okay.
of that
of
one.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we have got projector where we create a 120-degree field of view.
Right.
So he can see wherever he is going over there. And all.
Okay.
And then if at all you want to go up,
Yeah.
you can also see.
Why don't you? Both of
Yeah.
us will go up there.
Yeah, here you can see the controls of all the complete vehicle and all.
Right.
And he gets the same feeling while he's driving and all. So the motion platform, the views.
So he also is actually the motion platform is giving him the vehicular
Yeah.
movement.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So he has a brake and he has a thing.
All the things, ABC and all. So now I'm creating an environmental condition like rain, snow,
Right.
thunderstorms, and all those things can be created.
Okay, great. Thanks. And you said you have something similar for tanks also.
Yeah. So I'll just show
I see.
you
Okay.
of that.
Right.
So here is a firearms training simulator. Would you like to?
We'll do this later. Let's finish the tank and BMP.
Yeah. So here is a
Huh.
T90 tank driving simulator.
Okay.
Okay, so the army published a tender way back in 2012-13,
Right.
and they wanted a complete system with full motion tank driving simulator.
Okay.
So here we have replicated the internals of the complete tank.
This is a driving
Cabin.
area. Cabin.
This is a driver
of
cabin.
the-
Yeah, the driver can just get into that one.
Right.
On the top is their periscope through which they see.
Yeah.
So we have the visuals projected behind it, so he can see that particular terrain over there.
Right.
So as he moves, you can see the motions of this one.
Okay.
Now, the infrastructure is a major problem. They can buy the simulator.
Sure.
But how do they build the infrastructure to house the simulator?
Correct.
So we suggested that how about keeping this whole thing in a container?
Right.
Now this is a self-contained 17 odd feet container
Right.
which goes and fits directly onto a ALS.
Which is
Ashok
the
Leyland
Ashok
Stallion,
Leyland
which is
Stallion.
a standard
Right.
stock with them.
Yes.
Fits on that one. They can take it wherever they want and they can continue the training on that.
Okay.
Okay, and they are so happy with this training. Okay, they always keep quoting. A lot of officers also I meet,
Right.
especially from our customer service, they're extremely happy and all.
Right.
And that's the reason they keep on giving the annual maintenance contract of this to us only.
Naturally.
So,
But it's got a lot of technology here in the sense it's air conditioned first of all.
Yes.
Basically, you got everything self-contained. You have a control unit, right? Is that's the control unit.
So this is the instructor station.
Uh-huh.
Again, if you see, here you got all the controls mapped.
Right.
Whatever action he takes and
Okay.
however the control takes, I can capture that one.
Right.
This is the terrain, in a desert kind of a terrain,
Right.
semi-desert kind
Naturally,
of a terrain. On
yeah.
the top one is the view the driver is seeing.
Getting, yes.
Here is for the instructor to change the thing. This is the scenario builder.
Okay.
We can build a training scenario
Sure.
and load it over there.
Right.
Then of course I got these graphic computers and other things over here. It's totally air conditioned.
Right.
So you can just close the door.
And like you
it's
said, you
totally-
can transport it from one place to the
they,
other.
they do that.
Anyway.
In fact, nowadays, whenever they're going for the actual driving also, so they first do it on this one
Right.
and then they go on to the actual training.
Right.
Towards this is the gunnery simulator.
This is the firing,
Firing
unit
one.
of the tank.
These two we connected and all the three crew,
Okay.
the commander, gunner and the driver,
Right.
they become one entity and these like that, I can connect multiple of things so
Right.
the whole squadron can be trained.
The question here is that how do you collect the requirements? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you have some lot of ex-servicemen, veterans coming and giving you the thing. So is that the strength of the company to have a lot of ex-servicemen working with you?
So I would definitely say one thing is that we have failed and succeeded also in developing products.
Yeah.
So I would say that our guys are completely oblivious to failure. So if they give you a task, they don't know whether it is possible or not theoretically, but practically they achieve any damn
I
thing.
see.
The second thing is that the ustads who are there actually, they
Right.
have very good understanding about the training,
Sure.
the method and all that.
Right.
And we have seen that these guys are kind of, sir, जैसे झटका है recoil, सर झटका कम नहीं है, ज़्यादा नहीं है इसमें और थोड़ा बढ़ाइए इसे. whereas a sophisticated or higher
Engineers, yeah.
officer will say, boss, because of this, not so much of impact, or some visual is not, sir, theek tarah nahi dikh raha hai. This guy will come and tell, technical guy will tell to a higher level police officer, sorry, army officer, sir, because the polygons are restricted to 1 million polygons per second, it is not possible. So the Ustad says, listen, this doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
And these guys have to go and rework the polygons and whatever and produce something they like.
Okay.
So we have seen that this combination of people who are dedicated trainers, like the Ustads,
Yeah.
very class, and our team who are really, really passionate about
Software
making products that the
developers and
government.
otherwise, huh.
So that combination has worked very well for us.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like I can see easily that you have divided your responsibilities.
Yeah.
Kishore looks after the technology, and your other partner is also part of the R&D. I mean, this company has grown so much. What are the next steps that you're looking at from the learnings that you've already had? Not just increasing business, but any new products that you're looking at. We haven't spoken much about counter drones.
Yeah.
You've just got into it, if I remember.
Yeah. We got an order also from the Air Force, which we have delivered 25 numbers, and based on that one, they're working. They're given additional 25 systems order.
Okay.
It was not a repeat order. They changed the specifications, so we
Right.
qualified in that. Then Army also has given a few more orders.
Right.
So that is again from the ground up. The software, the hardware design,
Right.
and the qualification. Everything is in-house.
Right.
So we have developed everything from the ground up and all. So I got a RF detector which will detect any communication by the telemetry and other things and all. And we also have a GNSS jammer.
Right.
So and then the radar. In case it becomes autonomous and all, my radar can pick up. And there's a command control center where people can see other things. And we also have some little bit of AI in that.
Right.
The system keeps learning as it keeps operating over there.
Oh, I see. So that is a new next step that you've taken.
So a counter drone system is something that has started working in 2018, and we launched. It was a 5-year program, but fortunately, government pushed us to do it in 3 years, and we were able to do it. But the other areas of operation is, we at present are looking at, getting into naval and air force side also if we get good opportunity.
Oh, so far it was not a major focus.
Yeah, that was not a focus at all. So we were mostly focused on land forces only, similar military training, and then we are looking at for the export market in a big way. What all can we do in the export market?
Yes.
And in terms of products, again, we are tying up with OEMs and all that for the future platform that are required. That we are going in a big way in that.
Right. So we have done the gunnery, we have done the driving for tanks, BMP. What is that?
That is a zoo. 23 simulator.
This is a very old gun that they used to have.
This is a Russian origin anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah.
Usually with the army AD.
Right.
So we have replicated the complete gun.
Okay.
And you've got a curved screen.
And how do you manage to do that? Because that's a question a lot of people will have.
Yeah, so we had some support from the user.
Right.
So he said that they wanted this particular gun and all for training. And then we went there, took the measurements. We also got a lot of inputs. What are the rate of fire, how it fires,
right,
and what are the drills, especially on the technical aspect, a gunner and his crew has to do. All those things we captured, and then we have built this whole system.
So now they can actually simulate an anti-aircraft operation.
Yeah. So you can have the aircraft flying over there, and these people targeting, and the
can
future.
we have that demo here?
Yeah. So now you have seen how difficult is it to fire at the aircraft.
Correct.
With this
I know,
one.
because with that kind of coordination
Extremely
is required.
difficult.
Yeah.
So just imagine how many bullets one has to fire.
Right.
So here we can
continue to do the training, and there is no bullet wastage.
Exactly.
The cost is also minimized.
Yeah, minimized.
Cost is completely minimized. So this is also got inducted?
No,
elsewhere?
not yet. So we have yet to go for the trial. So we
Right.
have got a similar thing for the L70.
Okay.
So that has been trial evaluated and we are waiting. It was
Okay.
under make 2.
Right.
Okay. Which
So
is
that's the sumoto thing that
yeah, you give it and all. There's a make 2 procedure.
Right.
So where many people can come.
Okay.
So we got qualified in that one and very soon the results should be
Okay.
out.
So now there's also the range of things that you have for arms
Yeah.
simulators.
So yeah, I got a 81 mm motor.
Right. But before that, you were supposed to show me the firing range, containerized firing range.
Come. Let's go. So here is the firing range.
So here or here?
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
You can just go.
Okay.
So this is, I got two configuration of this one. So this is a 40-foot containerized,
Right.
2 firers. You got one over here and one adjacent. 2
Right.
firers can simultaneously fire on that one. So if you see the target over there,
Yeah.
so that is a 100-meter target.
Right.
So how much the target will appear in actual 100 meters, the same thing is being depicted.
Okay.
It's a standard figure 11 or figure 12 target over there.
Okay.
Now you can go and fire with this weapon.
Okay.
Bullets are trapped behind through
Right.
our patented bullet containment trap.
Right.
And this is a self-contained. It has got these doors are soundproof, so sound would not go outside for the firer.
Right.
He has to wear the ear mufflers and all.
Yeah.
On the top, we have got a device which will clean the air, the lead and all other things.
Okay.
So we have
I
got.
see.
So there are also standards for that.
Right.
So we have already kept. You got a camera over here. Whatever he's doing, the instructor sits outside. He can see what actions he's doing.
So the instructor can actually watch this fellow firing here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, and this has all the 3 positions.
Uh-huh.
In army, they've got a lying down,
Yeah.
standing, and
So-
prone position.
Uh-huh.
So all the 3 positions can be taken care.
So okay. No, but so you can fire every arm, small arm also here.
Very small arm. So we have got a tubular primarily for very basic firers.
Right.
Okay, they are not fired any time. So the bullet can stray away anywhere.
Right.
So this tubular thing
Is a protection.
is a protection.
Okay.
Okay, so now once you have achieved certain proficiency, then you can go to another one we have
Right.
where this tube is not there. It is the open thing.
Right.
We project the whole simulator, tactical scenarios and video scenarios. They can practice on that one.
I see. So you said this is the standing position. Then there is a lying position.
Yeah.
also.
So I can pull this one. You can climb on this one and do a lying down position.
Ah, okay. So that's
Yeah.
patented by you.
Then these are all patent, and I can now I can do a
Sitting down.
kneeling position.
Right.
This is a bigger one. You see that there is no.
Tubular range.
No tube guy. Okay.
So it's a walk-in range.
You can just duck and walk in.
Right.
So this is not on. You can file real,
Uh-huh.
and you can also can be used as a simulator.
Right.
So suppose you don't want to fire
Ah.
the real weapons and all.
Right.
Okay. So you can use the simulator
Okay.
and keep on firing as many bullets as you want.
Ah, okay.
So you got the baffles over there.
Uh-huh. These.
These are the baffles in case it goes up
Correct.
and all.
Yeah.
And all the walls they're fitted with AR500
Okay.
hardened MS steel.
Right.
So if the bullet doesn't escape anywhere.
And it doesn't also ricochet.
Yeah.
Ah.
So you can see
Yeah.
at that distance,
Oh, the people are
moving
walking.
and
They're
walking
doing
and
the
all.
patrolling.
Yeah. So then the scenario
Yes.
is a little longish. It goes and some bomb blasts.
Yeah, I
and then
get
this
it.
way.
Huh.
But if at all I fire now, immediately those people will react in a different way.
They'll take shelter. They'll
Yeah,
take cover.
they're running off.
They'll take cover.
Yeah. So when
Yes.
you fire this, you also get a recoil, very realistic recoil and all.
Okay. Again, this is put on the ALS and taken.
Yeah, no. This is a 40-foot container.
40-foot container.
Yeah, so
So
you
that's why you're calling it Zen container tubular.
That is tubular. This is
Tubular.
an indoor containerized
Indoor
shooting
containerized
range.
shooting. And this can be put anywhere. I mean, you just put it on the ground somewhere.
Yeah, anywhere. You can just
Anywhere.
put it in a any container, any truck that can carry a 40-foot container can carry this, and they can do, if they have ammunition, they can do live firing in this.
Okay.
If they don't have, they can do simulated firing. So
Okay.
both are there.
Both are there.
Yeah.
And so you doing some
Yeah,
scenarios
so
here
these
also.
are the target. These are for the outdoor ranges.
Right.
So you can see the tank target over there.
That one, yeah.
We have supplied like 300 or 400 of these targets to in Egypt.
Okay.
Egypt, you got Al Hammam range,
Right.
where they have populated that one at various places. Okay, and these the tanks and the rocket people, they come and fire, do a live fire.
Right.
And as you do the live fire and all, you can capture this one,
I see.
record it, So they have a control center which is around 12 kilometers wide. So we are covered 12 by 7 kilometers with a radio coverage.
Okay.
So everybody can operate this
That's
from
right.
that distance from the command
Simultaneously
control center.
and control have a thing.
So one of the thing about these targets is and typically what happens in the range is you go to the range. So this is a live range equipment actually.
Okay.
So some people after being they still want to go to the range in practice, which is fair enough.
Right.
So maybe for the last 10% or 20%.
Correct.
So we do the firing there, and there when you fire there. So there is something called as a firing point equipment. Typically, they fire 10 bullets and they walk to the target to see.
Sure.
But what happens is if there are 3 holes, they don't know which bullet has created. So therefore, the firing point equipment that is just beside the firer immediately shows where he is missing it, and he makes the immediate correction.
He can do the
so
adjustment
muscle
or the
memory
correction.
after that. Yeah. So it's very fantastic system.
And what has been the feedback from
I mean, this works like almost like bulletproof completely. And people are actually buying more. That is our proof that it is working.
Yeah, of course.
So they keep buying.
No, so like you keep going to. I just heard from the Army War College. You went and spoke to the Army, the officers there.
Yeah.
So did they have a full idea? Because the entire Army may not know all this. But what was their reaction or what was their feedback?
They were very super excited.
Right.
Okay. And I think the people which I spoke to, they are on a way up in the army hierarchy and all.
Yes.
And they were very pertinent and sharp questions how to go about and stuff like that and all. So very interesting. So the new generation is very tech savvy.
Right.
Okay, they want to modernize those kind of things and all.
Sure.
In army, any change is very difficult to get in.
Of course.
Okay, it's a very inherent part of that system.
Right.
But now the new officers who are coming, they are extremely modern. They are very tech savvy. They want to explore new things and all. So that's coming up.
I think there is a change from top to bottom, everything, including the chief was saying, we have to do this.
Yeah, he said that in our conclave,
Bharat
Shakti
Shakti
conclave, where he said that we are doing more and more emphasis on simulation training.
It has just started, so it's going to be a huge thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this is a whole range of
various
products.
simulators.
Yeah, so this is our UAV mission simulator.
Okay.
For the mission simulator in a UAV, for the things like Heron, Searcher Mark II, what we have currently.
Okay.
Or then what we have done is all the payload, we have mathematical model like the SAR, synthetic aperture radar, MPRI, and the comment, LN.
Right.
The internal pilot, whatever he does, and you have a control unit over here, so which can be. This is the control unit.
Okay.
This is the control unit what you have built, and the requirement in the RFP was I should be able to use this control unit with the actual one.
I see.
Instead of that.
Okay, so the actual UAV which is being used.
Yeah, the real one, they should be able to fly with this.
Oh.
So we lived up to the challenge, we did that. And the other part was they should be able to get that control unit connected to this system and fly in the same way as if they are flying the original one.
Wow.
So basically to ascertain that my flight dynamics are very, very accurate.
Right.
So we got a lot of help from Army, Air Force, Navy and all, but somehow we could not sell the system for whatever be the reason. But yes, this has lived up to the whatever expectations they wanted.
I'll have slowly. No, but now let me ask this, because that's a pertinent question I think people will have. Where do you get this talent, engineering talent or innovative talent? Is it all Indian talent? Are you collaborating with any foreign companies or anything?
Yeah, 100% Indian.
Indians only. And again, what we have is, what we see is that, even not only the A class like the IITs, but even, B category kind of colleges, the talent is very good. But for every industry or every company, the training methodology has to be ingrown in the company. So these guys come, and what we do is the training process, we run them through the training process, and no matter what if reasonable quality input if we give, these guys become very, very good techies by the end of it.
Okay, so that induction program is also very strong.
Very strong.
Again, like when you have done your, you are an engineer guy. Computer science, and so all this is computer based, all that. How have you kept up to date about new developments that happen? What is your approach?
I love technology parts.
Okay, yeah, that's the key, I think.
So I keep visiting to a lot of universities like Hyderabad Central University, from where I graduated.
Right.
I'm in touch with them. So not only now, in the academics, if at all a paper or an idea is published today, that will see the light of day probably after 10 years or 15 years.
Right.
Okay, similarly when I go to US and other places and all, there are a lot of exhibitions, conferences, so you get a lot of, and now of course you got the web and all, you got fantastic podcasts, what are the way, the direction the technology is taking and all. So I try and tend to keep out of my own personal interest to be update on the various fronts.
Right.
Like nowadays, you got in the tactical engagement simulator, there are a lot of changes going to come in the future. You got the quantum computing which is coming up now. So you got like the drone technology is and the counter drone technology is changing in dramatic ways. So we are all working towards that. Yes. No, AR, VR, AI. These are the technologies
These are
which
the
will
new
be
ones.
coming in big.
Okay, so what is this now?
So this is the 81mm motor simulator.
Okay.
So we have created a replica 81mm motor.
This is the 81mm motor.
Yeah. So you see that screen. Okay. So here, because we don't have enough space, usually you got the whole crew getting trained.
Okay.
You got the motor detail over here.
Right.
You got the forward observer officer. Then you got the motor position controller.
Right.
All the three people are directly trained in one system.
Okay.
So you can have that screen and other things at a different room.
Okay.
You can have this in a different room. The MPC can be in various other places and all. So they all coordinate.
Can we have a
I'll show you a demonstration.
Yeah.
Ek demo kariye.
Total target, goal from you, 466614, height 200 meter, post का time हो 0 degree.
Bottom target, goal from you, 466614, height 200 meter, gun left.
Bearing 35 degree, elevation 62 degree. मध्य 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 धीरे थम अप रेंज के लिए एक एचरॉन 5
रेंज के लिए एक एचरॉन 5
एक एचरॉन 5
So now you have seen it will go there and you will get an indication.
Okay.
And if at all there is, so it is actually simulating the complete flight of that round.
Action, left 100 drop 50
action left 100 drop 50
Okay, so it's gone astray, but now they are doing the correction.
Yeah.
Okay.
up एक एचरॉन 5
one एचरॉन 5
1 एचरॉन 5
So now it has hit the target.
It is hit the target.
So now the whole process, if at all they want to train this,
Right.
you know the kind of effort that they have to go to the actual range.
Absolutely,
It is
yeah.
not possible.
Correct.
Generally, in
And
most
what
of the
is the
units,
normal range in a real
5
life
kilometers.
scenario? 5 kilometers. How will they go there?
Yeah, first of all, 5 kilometers range,
Yes.
and you have a safety area for another 5
Another 5
kilometers. So it becomes a little difficult.
Difficult,
Here they can keep on doing, and
Right.
maybe 10-20% they can do the actual firing.
Right.
You save the ammunition,
Correct.
you can do the correction, you can do the efficiency enhancement, skill develop. All those things can happen over here. So similarly, we have the AGS. It is an automatic grenade launcher.
Okay.
Okay. This is also a very effective weapon and all.
Uh-huh.
And we don't get the rangers to train this. So
Right.
this is also a fantastic system for a simulator. From the simulator, people can practice on this one and
Okay.
all. Something similar to
That
what you
also,
have.
something similar.
It can go over the hill and those
Right.
kind of things.
Right.
So then we, of course, we have an advanced weapon simulator. A larger version I'll be showing you
Okay.
over there.
Somewhere there. Okay.
This is a medium machine gun simulator.
Medium machine gun thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have the anti-tank guided missile simulator. This was our first product.
I see.
So you remember when it became the DPP or the Army
2016.
2006.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
The first one when they made, they opened it for the private industry. Even at that time, there was the purchase preference for PSUs and other
Yes,
things.
of course.
So we won this
Uh-huh.
against a foreign company. They were, I think Bell had tied up with some Polish company or someone else and all.
Uh-huh.
And then we won this, and they were technically disqualified.
I see.
So after they tried on this one, they saw that in fact when we actually asked the users, there was one of the case where they given 40 missiles, they were supposed to fire on the target, 2 hit on the target.
Oh, I see.
They practiced on this one, and they after that 38 hits were there on
Oh,
the
wow.
target. From 2 to 30 years, what dramatic
Correct,
difference.
yeah, absolutely. Failure rate has dramatically gone down.
Yeah, so after that, they bought 100 of these.
Okay.
So, a lot of, and there is a scale item, I think they'll be buying more of
How does that work?
So, it is an actual replica of a anti-tank guided missile, the Conquer's one.
Okay.
They also call it the Flame.
Right.
Okay, it is a faggot launcher adapted to Milan equipment.
Right.
So, you have the sighting system. These are the azimuth and elevation controls. And these controls, while looking at that, has to be very precisely controlled.
So it has to align with the both have to align.
So in the second generation, what happens? The crossfire, you have to keep it on the target.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So the missile would go in a very haphazard way. So the training is you don't bother about the missile. Keep it on the target. It will automatically correct itself and come back. So that is the third generation is fire and forget.
Fire and forget, yeah.
So this is one of the good systems. We also have for the Milan.
Okay, but they stand and do the thing.
No.
Simulation.
They lie down.
They lie
so
down.
it is only for demonstration we kept it at this height
Achha,
because
okay.
whenever people come,
Right.
because very
You
difficult
can't
to
obviously,
lie down.
correct,
and all.
correct.
So that's the reason we kept it.
I see. But it just goes straight into a thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
so no, you have to guide it.
Right.
So you keep even if it's a moving target, while you're keeping the crossfire on that one, the missile automatically steers towards that.
I see. Okay.
This product is being made by BDL.
Okay. So, but Ashok, when you travel, don't people ask you that why an Indian company is now coming into the market, which is probably dominated by the West, Americans and Europeans?
Yeah, actually, they, number one, we started in 93.
Right.
And when we started participating, it was unknown that Indian company would
Exactly.
be doing this. It was always
That's why the
foreign
question.
companies.
Yeah,
So now, for almost 20 years, there was no preference for as such an Indian company.
Right.
Because everybody would pretend to be Indian company, and you could easily pretend.
Sure.
So, but by because of the superiority of Zen products, all the simulator manufacturers, whether it is Saab, whether it is Cubic Defense System, whether it is Thales, they all came, competed against us and withdrew from the market.
In the simulation market.
In the simulation market. When we had no preference and we were competing against them on same terms. So, they went away from this because India is the largest market, one of the largest market, and everybody wanted to be here.
Correct.
But they withdrew because they saw that there is a competitor and they have superior products to them. Now, when we are taking their, of course, with a prayer on their lips, that these guys don't come to our markets.
Okay.
Now we are eventually going to their markets, and we are very hopeful that there will be big breakthroughs as in the
So,
time
like
ahead.
you mentioned right at the beginning, I think you mentioned that US is looking for the tank simulator, the driving simulators, and all the containerized one.
No, US that way is a very mature market. Okay, so their requirements, the acquisition process, the support to their own industries, how to support small business units, it's very well established over there.
Right.
So in fact, India should learn from them.
Okay.
How to promote local industry for that one.
No, so before we go to that firing range, Ashok, just want to ask both of you, what was the turning point in the company's journey so far? The big turning point, if you remember.
I think the big turning point was, almost 21 years later, 2015, when Parikar came.
Okay.
And, we have been talking about this IDDM and Make 2 forever.
Okay.
And, almost 10, 12 years before Mr. Parikar, I used to go and say, and, in the industry, we had not only, R&D was not really a favored thing to do. They would always want to tie up with a large company and, sell it to them.
Yeah.
So when I went, and within the industry also, they would say, we used to say R&D के ऊपर focus करें, वो सर पहले चलना सीख फिर बाद में उड़ने की बात करेंगे.
Some people
But
said that to
fortunately,
you.
when Mr. Parikar came and when we proposed that, sir, this is what IDDM is all about, because the maximum value captured in IP is in R&D. Because he himself was a small businessman with the technical background. He caught it like this. Only one question he asked me was, how will you determine the price? And then he himself realized that in the RFI, people will be giving budgeted quote, that becomes the benchmark.
Right.
So that was a fantastic thing. And, and then Make 2, where we said, listen, we are incapable of making reports and submitting you to under Make 1, like Make 1, but we can complete the product, but a sure orders should be there.
And demonstrate to you.
Yeah, so they said the 100% risk is mine. If the system works, you buy from us. So it was, and strangely, this is the same thing I read in Elon Musk's book, where, this Boeing and Lockheed Martin had 50,000 employees and they were not doing anything. No rockets were flying.
Right.
And the same thing, he was with 500 people, SpaceX was able to deliver rockets that fly. Again, the same thing, he said, if my rocket fly, you buy it. In the case of Boeing
Lockheed
and
Martin,
Lockheed Martin,
Boeing.
it was cost plus model.
Right.
So everybody had no incentive to close it.
Small is smart, if I can derive from there.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, small, but again, there are small traders also, but
Right.
if you have that R&D mentality
Right.
and you are commercially little focused, because I know the body, a lot of bodies of business people who are littered in the defense field, who are
Right.
very technically savvy, but will go after, not strategically, but go after every technical problem.
Right.
So I would say a combination of technical and financial acumen would be required. Yeah.
But anything memorable you remember that, you were almost on the verge of getting sort of frustrated about something, and then suddenly some success story came. Something I'm sure has happened in your life.
Many. Yeah.
Many.
The fact that initially, like the tactical engagement simulator,
Right.
we developed so hard and all, and it was retracted.
Okay.
Similarly, for IWTS, which was there in 2011-12, it came. It was
Right.
retracted.
Okay.
There were tanks where tank simulators we participated. Half was closed and half was given.
Uh-huh.
So initially, when the DPP was there and all,
Right.
a drop of the hat, anybody could close it.
And there was no accountability
There
that
is no
time.
accountability.
I would actually, recommend that the criteria for, a officer promotion should be how many purchases has he done, if in that field in particular,
Right.
thing, and how many retraction has he done.
Okay.
I mean, the retraction is such a devastating thing for the industry.
Yes, of course.
I mean, and so now it is very, very difficult to do it. But
Right.
then those times, people would just to play safe because there was no penalty. The businesses go to hell, the businessman goes to hell.
Right.
But there was no penalty for, cancelling a tender.
Correct.
So that, if that is almost set right, but still now, even now we have some couple of retractions.
Uh-huh.
But that is improved dramatically, I mean.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing before we sort of get into this.
Yeah.
I remember my earliest memory of you, Ashok, is here in Hyderabad in ISB,
Yeah.
where there was a CDM organized, College of Defence Management organized, I think, seminar or a conference, where you were so passionate about Indian products, IPs and all that there was another friend, Vivek Lal, who was then, I think, not with Boeing, but I think Reliance Defence of Mukesh Ambani. And I remember two contrasting viewpoints on this. So you've come a long way from there, from 2011 or 12, I think. So this is what is another product that you have.
This is one of the products which we are exporting.
Right.
So, and I can connect literally any of the small arms or company supported weapons also into this one and all.
Okay.
So this is a replica of a AK-47.
Okay.
Okay, and the one of the demand was they wanted a untethered for the recoil.
Okay.
So we created a magazine which is filled with high pressure air,
Right.
which will give you the recoil and stuff like that. Then you can have 10 or 12 people simultaneously firing on that particular screen.
Okay.
So you've got different scenarios. So switch off these lights.
Okay. So it shows. Wow.
So now this is a range exercise.
Correct.
Okay. You got a 50-meter range. You fire at that one.
Right.
It'll give you the grouping.
Correct.
It'll give you what mistakes you are
so-
committing.
correct.
And these weapons are fully sensorized.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you cock, it knows
Right.
your cock, whether
Correct.
in the right fashion and
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
And then it will also tell you what mistakes you are committing
Right.
and give you corrective measures to do that one.
Okay.
Like scenario rakho. So this is a kind of a jungle scenario what we have. So the various targets keep coming and all. And it gives you a feeling that you are moving in the target and all.
Okay. Ah, okay. And now, actually, you can determine who's fired and who's.
Yeah, so give the score.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the summary of every lane and all.
Yes.
So we had lane number 6 you were
6,
firing,
yeah.
and I think I was firing in lane number
Yeah.
3. It also how many bullets were fired, how
Correct.
many were injured, how many missed,
Right.
and what was the different points and scorings are
Correct.
given over here,
Oh.
and the type of scenario and the economy of the bullet fired,
Right.
and how many were actual hits or injured versus how many were missed. So we are done, though the classification is failed,
Yeah.
but we are done pretty good.
Yeah,
As per
exactly.
the standards and all.
Yeah, exactly. I had
So
two
you got a
kills,
video
4
scenario,
injured.
play the video scenario. So in this scenario, what happens is you can actually take a camera or an iPhone for that matter, create a scenario and then create these scenarios.
Okay.
So that man was taking out, here.
Right.
So you can have
All kinds of scenarios there.
scenarios they can create, and
Absolutely.
the creativity of the user is the only limit. You can
Exactly.
create
That's
whatever they
the,
want.
the imagination is the only limit.
That's right.
Exactly. So, very comprehensive, very detailed briefing we have taken.
Thank you.
The next question is, what next? Next generation. Are they coming into your company? Are they interested? I'm sure your children, your nephews and nieces, where are they?
So, Kishore's both children are working in this. My daughter has also joined the company. Actually, today she has joined.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we that way that was the second generation is fully engaged. He's been engaged about 8 years now.
Ah,
Kishore's son, so he really knows the ins and outs.
Right.
So second, from the family angle, it is there, but also we have a lot of professional
Yes,
team that is actually aspiring to take up more responsibilities.
Okay.
So it is just, I would say that as we graduate, it will not be just only family affair, but
Yes.
we'll have some professionals to buffer any deficiencies are there. And as it expands,
Yes.
it will get a more professional character than a family character. But in the sense that I believe family businesses are more rewarding to shareholders than professional businesses.
No, of course.
Yeah. So,
That's true.
So I
So-
look forward to more of that.
Yeah, I'm sure. And because you're professional, you managed to get all this done yourself.
Absolutely.
It's not only thing. So this is the anti-drone system.
This is the counter drone system.
Right.
So you got 4 parts to this one.
Right.
So one is this is the RF detector.
Okay.
So 360 degrees,
Right.
from 100 megahertz up to 8 gigahertz, it can detect any kind of a communication and all.
Right.
And it will tell you both frequency and the band. While doing that, if at all I know that a particular communication of a drone is coming, I can turn, this automatically turns towards that and jams that particular frequency or the band, whatever you want.
Okay.
And then in case you get autonomous drones and all, so we have got a radar.
Okay.
Okay, this is a rotating radar. It can detect that one without any RF communication if at all it is autonomous.
Okay.
And this is the command control center where it will actually tell you what are the different drones, where they are coming from, and for you to go and take corrective actions. We can also connect this one
Okay.
to real guns.
I see.
So we are already done with the L70 gun, which we are connected, which
Right.
can actually fire and all. We had demonstrated that one. So this will be a combination of both soft kill as well as a hard kill.
Right. Oh, so that's the new product.
Yeah, new product what you have.
That's all. But I want to end at this place unless you have something else to show. Why was the Prime Minister doing this and both of you in this video in this frame?
So, actually, there was this was at Def Expo exhibition in Lucknow, 2020.
Okay.
And, he was supposed to visit just passing by 10-15 second thing.
Okay.
But when he came, he got fully engaged. And he asked a lot of intelligent questions, which people with deep knowledge asked. And we were able to actually, Kishore was able to tell him how we proved that it is working. There was a test conducted. And then, he fired on the target. The first one, you can see in this,
Yes.
that he was not really looking through the backside, foresight and
Right.
firing. So he missed it, and then I actually explained to him. So this is the
there
way to
you
do
are.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm then explaining there.
Right.
So he understood that, and then he he hit the bullseye immediately.
I see.
So he was such a attentive listener
Learner.
and a prompt learner that was really surprising. I mean, the image he has.
No,
is
but the
something
very
different.
fact that he's done this
Yeah,
itself
yeah.
is a sort of endorsement for your products and your.
In a strange coincidence, 18 months after his visit, we had the framework for simulators released.
Yes, exactly. So I'm sure that has played a part in it. I'm
Probably,
sure.
probably.
Yeah, that's true. So that is where we are. And I can see something happening there. What is that now?
So, Kishore.
What happens is you have seen so many simulators. We've got
Yeah.
like 40 odd simulators and
Right.
all. So what we have done is we have connected all these simulators.
Right.
Okay, into one single network. So we are connected. So you have seen the tank simulator, the ATGM simulator, the MMG, the 81mm motor,
Right.
all these.
All of this, yeah.
So now this is the central command control center. So whatever is being done in each and every simulator is recorded.
Okay.
That is one part.
Right.
Now all these things can have one common picture.
Uh-huh.
So if at all you see, this is the particular island
Right.
where these people are going to conduct. So I got only 2 tanks, for example. Okay, I can have another 3 tanks, virtual tanks, which will behave in a similar fashion as a tank. Then I can also have the adversaries, the enemy
Right.
forces, who also follow the rules of engagement.
Okay.
So they can fire at these, and once they fire, we really don't know where the fire is coming from, as in the actual battle.
Right.
That tank or those weapons get disengaged, to signifying that no, they have been hit and all.
Right.
And then finally we get, so you can have the sighting system, what each person is seeing.
Okay.
Okay, the terrain, the map,
Right.
and then finally we have the score over there.
The full picture is available to you
Yeah.
here.
Complete picture is available, and they can conduct the firing on that one.
Right.
And after they conduct the firing, the combat readiness of a particular unit or a subunit is captured from here. And you can do your wargaming practices in a very practical way.
Absolutely.
How it happens and all.
So the use of technology for the training of army units is going to increase, and this is one of the aids.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So in fact, what we are also proposing is a combat training nodes.
Right.
If at all, at least we can start with the military stations, the peaceful stations and
Right.
all, where everybody can keep preparing for this one, and people can come, a company or 2 companies can come and get trained on this one. We can create the whole facility and we can give it.
It's great to know that, because I think to get the feedback and get the analysis in almost real time is hardly available otherwise.
No, it's very
Then
difficult.
it's very subjective also.
Yes.
In the normal training. Absolutely. That's right. So great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you
for coming.
this one, and Ashok, thank you very much. We can wish you only the best going forward. May this company grow higher and higher, bigger and bigger.
Thank you,
larger and larger.
thank you, Nitin.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming here. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. So that was the Atluri Brothers. They were talking about Zen Technologies. I of course forgot to ask them why Zen, but I'm sure there were reasons for it. Maybe you can tell me why Zen.
So, Zen comes from a Chinese word called Chan.
Right.
And Chan comes from a Sanskrit word called Dhyana.
Okay.
So, Dhyana is a state in which body and mind are in consonance.
Concentration,
Basically,
yeah.
some meditative kind of mode.
Right.
So, and it's also used to contrast between tradition and,
Modernity.
modern things. So, we believe that, the traditional training and modern training can coexist if in proper thing, and simulation is the cutting edge way to do the training. So, but, and there is no contradiction between them. They can coexist.
Absolutely. Well put, and I think that sums up what exactly Zen is all about. It is one of the rising stars of Indian private defense industry, and we are going to hear more about Zen in coming years, I'm sure. But that's all I have this week on the shop floor, the new series that we are initiating. Do keep watching Bharat Shakti. That's your one-stop shop for understanding what's happening, exciting things happening in the Indian defense industry, especially in the private sector. I'm Nitin Gokhale.
On the next episode of On the Shop Floor, we travel to Pune to meet Baba Kalyani. Watch out for this episode on 7th of April on bharatshakti.in.